Welcome to the September 25th, 2024 meeting of the Fall River Redevelopment Authority. First item is called to order. Open meeting law statement. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recording or transmission are being made whether perceived or unperceived by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. First item is a roll call. John Erickson here.
Louis Gonzalez here.
Ron Rusin here.
Joan Maderas here.
Ann Keane here.
Thank you. Also participating, Sarah Page, Executive Director, John Coughlin, Legal Counsel, Kenny Fiola, Administrative Consultant, and Karen Martin, Project Manager. First item is approval of the open session meeting minutes from August 28th, 24. Any comments on these? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve open session meetings from August 28, 2024.
Second.
Second.
John Erickson, yes.
Louis Gonzalez, yes.
Ron Rusin, yes.
Joan Maderas, yes.
Ann Keane, yes.
Thank you. Next item is financial report, approval of the September warrant, which you all have. Karen, I only had one little question on it, a small
Sure.
thing, but the electrical bill for $11.76 for an outlet, I can't remember, what was that outlet for?
That was the 50 amp receptacle that they needed for the Narrows concert.
But I mean, was that something for like food trucks or something? I
It was
can't
for
remember.
the, it was for the big trailer that they brought in for the bands.
Okay,
to
so
support
we'll use it again.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah.
completely reused, it's a
Okay.
permanent
I just-
fixture right
I
on
just
the,
couldn't-
yeah, it was an improvement, absolutely.
Any other questions on the
Just
warrant?
usually Joan signs it, it's not signed, I'm sure you approved that
I
anyway.
was a couple of days behind, so I've already
Okay.
sent her back.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Mine's signed.
Yep.
Oh, I put a signed copy in your packet.
So, motion to approve the warrant?
Sure. Motion to approve warrant of August of $205,195.01.
Second?
Second.
John Erickson, yes.
Louis Gonzalez, yes.
Ron Rusin, yes.
Joan Maderas, yes.
Ann Keane, yes.
Thank you. Administration audit update for fiscal year 2023.
Yes, so the update from the last meeting is we got the draft report just the end of the day Monday night, and we met with the auditor quickly, Sarah and I did yesterday. We haven't really had time to dive into all the numbers, but there were no glaring issues with the audit. She's got the draft. I sent it to Joan just before the meeting tonight. She's gonna take a look at it. The biggest thing is we just had to make some adjustments with the flow and recognizing revenue from the prepayments that the school has made on the 2501 South Main Street property. So those were just some adjusting entries we'll have to deal with, but there was nothing glaringly outstanding or came to their attention for anything. So I think we'll be in good shape and hopefully close that out probably early October. So that would be the plan.
Do we get information from them, like a letter from the
Yeah.
auditor?
Yes.
We'll have
Yep.
an audit letter, okay.
Yes.
Insurance update?
The only thing I wanted to just let you know on the insurance, it's the usual time of the year we do our renewals, which is why the warrant was a little higher than normal. We had the renewal on the premium for the policy for the 2501 South Main Street, which that's reimbursed by the school department, so I'll be billing them for that. And then the 600 Duval Street property renewed, and that was
It's in here, isn't it?
that was 29,000, and that includes the parking lot too that we cover. And then we also updated the directors and officers insurance comes due this month also. And the only other thing that's gonna come due, and it'll be in the next warrant, is just our liability policy for the developable land that we own. Our actual business operations policy doesn't renew until December. So I just wanted to figure I'd give you that update to kind of coincide with the warrant. But they all pretty much renewed. The developable land is, that one's gonna be a little, it's, 191 Commerce Drive, we're hoping we'll take that off our rolls by the end of the year, hopefully, and then also we'll have that lot up in Freetown, which is just kind of funky land, but
Funky Land?
funky land, like it's right along Route 24. with-
Two orphan pieces
Yeah,
of
like
land
orphan.
left over from Route 24.
I don't know what you do, those are like the triangular ones, aren't they?
Yeah, they're like
Long.
rectangular pieces that run along the highway.
Norton City Pier, Karen?
Oh, okay, that's me too. So since, our last meeting, we've, with the aeration was completed, and that went well, and, they also did the repairs to the two soft areas that kind of popped up after all the heavy crowds that were out there from the Narrows concert and, art event, and so those got repaired and seeded, and it looks like the grass is now, starting to, you can see some green fuzz on the areas. So that's looking good. He's probably gonna wait a little bit longer to get out and do the final cleanup, but, other than that, City Pier is pretty much, they're doing a couple of yoga classes on Monday. They'll do, they did this week, and next week is the last one, Monday night. So that'll pretty much wrap up the event season out there, and then we'll put her to sleep for the winter. And, the environmental closeout, we just received the draft report yesterday. Sarah and I, need to review it and get back to Joe if there's anything glaringly, concerning in there. And then once he gets our, if there's any comments back, that should hopefully get, finalized and out to Mass DEP, by early October. And then we can close out, and then hopefully that'll, close out the environmental on the site.
Okay.
And then the last thing is, the cathodic protection. Everybody got in their, board package, the bid opening happened on September 29th. And we had 5 submissions, responses to our, proposal, which was good. It was Collins Engineers, Foth, Ty and Bond, UTRS, and Wistriani. And after the evaluation committee was Johnny, Sarah, myself, and Ken. And we met, and we had gone through the proposals, and based on the scopes of work, that matched best or aligned, most of them did align with the scope that we had put out. We decided that based with the scope and the price, best bang for our buck would be with Foth. And so I included in the bid package just kind of their introductory letter, which kind of summed everything up as to who the team was, and hoping to get approval to proceed with issuing them an agreement to start with the design and engineering services for the cathodic protection in the amount of $79,950.
Karen, just for record, what date was it? Because it wasn't September 29th.
No, it wasn't, you're right, it was
Was it
August
August
29th.
29th?
It was
Okay.
August 29th, that's very good. Jumps ahead of myself here.
What was August 29th?
It was the day of the.
The bid opening.
Oh, right,
yeah.
right, okay.
Jeez Louise.
Have we ever used Foth before? Is anybody, aware of them?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're a
Okay.
they're a big marine contract,
Okay.
engineer.
And they did work at City Pier around the pier, and then when we were putting in a proposal to get the money to hire a firm to work on Northfield Point, because they'd worked with us before, we were able to get them to jump in and help us with our proposal, because we needed maps and more information. So we got to know the project manager through that, because we had not, Karen and I hadn't worked with them, but Ken had, and the Redevelopment Authority before had. So we have familiarity.
And you're happy with all the work?
Yeah, and they do a ton of work all through here, and the cathodic protection company that they have working with them is very well known in the industry, and he's done a lot of work in the area also.
Yeah, they have, in that package that you got.
I just put, I didn't put the whole package in there, I put the
Oh,
cover letter
it's
with
not
the
the whole thing,
team,
but
yeah.
they had a lot of their references in there. It was pretty much unanimous. We all scored them the highest, so I think they're gonna do a good job on this.
So you want a motion to approve the contract?
I do.
We'll move
You
forward
need-
a motion.
You need a motion to approve the agreement, and that the chair can execute the agreement,
The chair what?
can sign the agreement.
Right, so motion to move forward the fourth infrastructure and environmental LLC bid of $79,950 to approve the agreement and also have the chair sign the agreement.
Second?
Second.
John Anderson, yes?
Louis Countess, yes.
Ron Rusin, yes.
Joan Maderos, yes.
Ann Keen, yes.
Okay, thank you. Karen, next item, Northfield spit.
No, Phil's,
Northfield
he's
spit.
not giving it up. He's not giving the spit up. So Northfield Point Mooring Fields, I am due to get this week from Beta the details for the proposed revetment repair around the property. And then once we see what that is and have an idea what that is, that's gonna allow us to then figure out what we're really gonna need for permitting. And he's also gonna be getting to us this week, a layout of all the invasives that are out there, so we know how much we're gonna need to do to go in and actually pull those out, and which will now lead to being able to finalize like a plan out there. So still design development, basically, and as soon as we get that, hopefully I'll have some of that for the next meeting. And maybe we'll have a better idea of the permitting needs also, if there's really any. Hopefully, it's all repair work and we won't need much.
Do you remember what we were like projecting for a timetable on that?
The design was gonna be hopefully pretty much done by the end of the year. And then we were gonna have bid documents ready, and the idea
In the
was.
spring, were we gonna?
For construction,
put it out to
but we
bid?
were also hoping there'd be a Seaport grant
Yeah.
that we would be applying for now, but it hasn't come out yet, so we don't know what's going on with that Seaport grant.
Okay.
So if we don't get grant money, we'll have to maybe wait for next year, so I don't know, we have to kind of strategize about that.
Okay.
But Ellen Sabula at Seaport did get back to me the other day and say that they're expecting to put one out any day. And I checked today, they haven't put out the RFP for, the grant application yet, but one hopes that they will. With the assumption had been it would be in November.
How much of a grant we looking for?
We're not sure, without getting all the details, we're not sure about what the budget, but it's probably gonna be a substantial grant. I mean, they usually give out $1 million is the max, right, for the
Yep.
Seaport. We may be looking for that $1 million, I'm not sure.
Wow, okay.
I don't think we ever got $1 million.
Yeah, we
We
did.
Did we?
Yeah.
When?
Yeah, for the year that you had applied,
Did I get $1 million for that?
yeah, you did.
Good job.
Just split it. Yes.
And then,
Yeah.
then we had to totally
Oh, that
recraft
was
what
what
we
that-
used it for,
Okay.
because it was for putting a parking lot across the site to cap it.
Yes,
And then
yes,
we
we did.
capped it very differently, so there was finessing.
Yeah, that was in combination with mass development and other monies at
Yeah.
the time, yeah.
We call that the flu flog, the flu fog.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna, once we get more details and
Million
an
here,
idea
million
of costs,
there.
we'll be able to better figure that out.
Okay. Sarah's gonna speak to the Pleasant Street Flint ERP and then the Duval Street Corridor Master Plan.
So the good news you've heard about the over 1.6 million allocated through a federal earmark by Congressman Auchincloss, who facilitated it. And that's for streetscape and infrastructure improvements on Pleasant Street. So Mike Dion and the Community Development Agency are in the process of going through all the paperwork that's required. So that's really moving forward well. And the mayor called a meeting and put together a little team to work on what exactly we think we will do on Pleasant Street. So today, Ken, Dan, Mike, the mayor, Jasmine, our grant writer, and I met and had our first meeting to look at what might we want to do on Pleasant Street with these funds. Do we have other ways to add other funds to do more? Looked at, I guess what we're waiting to figure out is gas lines. Is Liberty Utility going to be doing more in the street, which would mean we wouldn't want to be redoing the street if it's going to be ripped up. So we're in the midst of just figuring out what makes sense with these funds, but it's all really guided by our roadmap for neighborhood revitalization that we paid for and worked on for the last couple of years, and we got a lot of input about what should happen, what the community thought should happen on Pleasant Street. So it's really great that we have funds and we can move forward on that process.
I learned earlier today that the gas company is scheduled to do Pleasant Street within the next 5 years, so I know that Dan Aguirre has discussed, or having conversations with them to see if that can be accelerated as opposed to waiting the 5 years out, just so that we can tap into this grant. I think the grant itself is good into 2030.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is some time there, but obviously, the quicker you expend it, the less risk you have of it being recalled.
I'm pretty sure a city sewer and a CSO project's all done on Pleasant Street, right?
I believe they spoke to Furlan, and I think that's with the exception of Stafford Square.
That square that, it still has flooding problems,
Right, but
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the Pleasant Street East, I think, is in good shape.
Yeah.
At least from what I've been told. I haven't had that conversation directly with Mr. Furlan. But there is gas work scheduled there.
When we see Pleasant Street, we talking from the square east, or we talking all Pleasant Street?
No, we're talking Eastern Ave down to Stafford Square.
That's where that. that's
And
the east
so,
side, yeah.
given the work on Stafford Square, I think it goes up Pleasant Street a little bit. So, we might be talking more like Quikasham up to Eastern Ave.
Okay.
And we're going to need to figure out, how much we're doing and how far we can go. It may be that we do 4 blocks, not 7 or whatever it is.
Yeah, 1.6 million sounds like a lot, but it's not. It doesn't go very far.
That won't even do the sidewalks.
No, especially when if you add architectural fees in there and plans and specs and everything else, it starts to add up.
Yeah.
Dwindles quickly.
Is that area enterprise zone or no?
No, there's a section lower Pleasant Street is an enterprise zone.
When we were putting a renewal plan together, we probably should have thought about that, because that gets a lot of investors into the area.
Yeah, that's, I don't think they're taking any further applications for that.
Okay.
I think that application period was only one offering. And I think at the time, the administration at that time did did the waterfront, a portion of Pleasant Street, but also that area around St. James and all that place, so that area.
Was it Hotwell too? Some small
Little
area over there,
piece of
Fifth Street or
Harlow.
something?
Yeah, a little piece of that.
Yeah, we saw
There's
this
3
too.
of them,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
That might be the downtown as well.
Well, I didn't realize that.
Downtown.
Is that determined by the state?
No, that's a federal program.
Federal, okay.
I don't know, if, it'd be nice if they would extend it. That there's, we've spoken to Congressman Auchincloss about that. I think there's I think there's a possibility of it being extended, but that would have to be after January.
We can make it look pretty, but if we want to fix it up to downtown, we have to do more than just make it look pretty.
Right.
I mean, hopefully that's something in that urban renewal plan we could
Yeah,
have
it's a
done.
great program. It's
Yeah.
similar to the 1031 exchange, except that if you hold it for 10 years, you don't have
You don't
to
pay
pay any
taxes,
taxes
yeah.
on your profit.
So the other piece on the Flint neighborhood and the urban renewal plan is the fact that we're still reviewing MIPA's response. We've gotten, I think I told you at the last meeting that that day we had gotten a outline from Ty and Bond about what they thought it would take to do the, now MIPA's saying you have to do a single environmental impact report. And what they are requiring is really significant, and Ty and Bond thought it could cost around $25,000 to $30,000 to do this work, which is what we had so hoped we would be able to avoid. So Ken and I and Emily Innes, our consultant, are going to go through the MIPA their long letter to us, and what Ty and Bond outlined, and just see what we think we really need to do, and we may very well ask for a meeting with MIPA to try to clarify what exactly we need to do, so that we hope maybe we can minimize some of the work and the expense and the time. And so that's still in process, but hopefully we'll have more clarity for you at the next meeting. So on to the Duval Street
Duval.
corridor. So we've had some discussions we had our regular every 2-week meeting with Stantec this morning, and all of us are feeling really positive about how well the meeting Monday night went. There was a really good turnout. It really surprised us how many people came at 4:45 before the event. So we had people just really piled up along all of our boards, which our goal had been to just have people look at the boards and be able to just give a little introduction and then have everyone looking at the boards. But we had so many people, and everyone sat down and kind of said, okay, where's the presentation? So we did more of a presentation than we had originally expected, with some allowing people to ask some questions. And then we had everyone go look at the boards. And we got a lot of good comments. We had Post-its put on lots of the boards. We had comment cards, and we got a lot of those. So the staff at Stantec are sorting through all of that and consolidating it into a report of what the comments were, and then we'll be able to discuss those and figure out where we might want to go with those. But as we expected, there were lots of questions about parking, lots of questions about trees, and, lots of really good discussion. It was really gratifying to see how much people were thinking about it and interested, and we all felt really positive about it.
How many people do you think were there?
I was realizing that when I was thinking about reporting on
I would
it.
bet you there was, yeah, between, I'd say between
75.
75-ish.
So probably- Anybody have a challenge with apartments? Did you hear any comments on that?
Have what?
About apartments, too many apartments, anybody?
No,
No,
and-
okay, good.
Too
There
many,
weren't-
did you say?
Yeah, it's,
Too
when
many.
people saying that, well, mostly market rate, that's what they're gonna complain about, but then, say, why is this apartments, why isn't this a fun area? I just wondering what the comments were.
Well, there was one person in the very beginning who said, why aren't they condos? And we said, well, they could be condos. A developer may decide there's a market for condos and do condos.
Yeah, I think their point was having more home ownership along the waterfront of
Yeah.
rentals. If the market dictates that, there's nothing that prevents it.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that, I just found out about that idea.
Yeah.
Joan, I'm curious what you thought.
No, I was pretty happy with the whole thing. I thought it went well. People were positive and looking forward, and
Yeah.
I think that was a very good thing,
It was.
yeah.
Good.
Okay, if there's no further matters for open session, the chair makes a finding that open session would have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body. The purpose of the executive session is to approve the executive session minutes from August 28th, 24, discuss strategy with respect to potential real estate transactions for properties located at Assessor Map 22, Lot 9 on Duval Street at the corner of Turner Street and at the Duval Street corridor related to the master plan. I'll entertain a motion to enter into executive session, and we will return to open session.
Motion to enter the executive session.
Second. John Erickson, yes.
Louis Condos, yes.
Ron Rusin, yes?
Joan Maderas, yes.
And Keen, yes.
Thank you. Okay, welcome back. I'll entertain a motion to execute the land disposition agreement for 0 Turner Street.
Sure. I make a motion to approve and have the chair sign the order of taken for the property owned by Liberty Utilities, New England Natural Gas Company Corporation, located at the corner of Duval and Turner Streets, Florida, Mass., identified as Assessor Map 0-22-0009.
Second? John Erickson, yes?
Louis Gonzalez, yes.
Ron Rusin, yes?
Joan Maderas, yes.
Ann Keen, yes.
Do
So
need
we
to
just
do
did the
second?
order, now you want to do the LDA.
So I need a motion to approve the LDA.
I make a motion to approve and have the chair sign the land disposition agreement with 577-609 Duval Street LLC for the purchase of property located at the corner of Duval and Turner Streets, Florida, Mass., identified as Assessor Map 0-22-0009.
Second?
Second.
John Erickson, yes?
Louis Gonzalez, yes.
Ron Rusin, yes.
Joan Maderas, yes.
Ann Keen, yes.
Okay. If there's not any other issues, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
John Erickson, yes?
Louis Gonzalez, yes.
Ron Rusin, yes.
Joan Maderas, yes.
Ann Keen, yes.
Thank you.